everyone, thanks for joining us for yet another video, the fourth in the series on Module of Analysis. If you haven't yet, we strongly recommend you begin by watching the first 3 videos in this module, because this one is going to be building up on things we have already learned. In this video, we will discuss prioritization. What's prioritization? Prioritization is quite self-explanatory, prioritizing between different things. In the context of analysis, this would mostly refer to prioritizing between different mechanisms. In the last video, we discussed how to generate as many MECs as possible with no discrimination between them based on their level of persuasiveness. Prioritization is a crucial skill because in debate, we have very limited time to explain often very complex issues. Deciding which mechanisms to use and which to omit can be critical to winning the round. So how do we do that effectively? There are 3 broad criteria or factors to consider when deciding the persuasiveness of different MECs: their strength, their effectiveness, and their contentiousness. Strength is usually the most intuitive one for people. This is the impact of the mechanism, how much the change it demonstrates from the status quo is large or potent. Effectiveness is how specifically tailored the mechanism is to the specific bottom line or burden that we are trying to prove, as opposed to MECs that are maybe strong but are only surrounding the topic and not really contributing to what we are trying to prove with them. And the third factor to consider is contentiousness. As discussed in the previous video, MECs should be as least contestable as possible. However, like all things in debate, this is on a spectrum. There are more or less contestable mechanisms. And part of persuasiveness is identifying which of our MECs is the least contestable of all. So how do we practice this? As always, we take these instructions and we practice them for different arguments, for different motions in our free time. We start by generating MECs for the argument, as we learned to do in the previous video. And after that, we prioritize between them. We suggest setting yourselves measurable targets in order to track your progress and gradually increase the difficulty with harder goals. The main parameters you can use to increase the difficulty for this practice are the amount of different factors of functionality you consider and the time control. We suggest you begin with unlimited time and with identifying the strength of different MECs and prioritizing based on their different strengths. Gradually, as you go, start also integrating consideration of the effectiveness of MECs and lastly of their contentiousness until you have a prioritization that combines all 3 into consideration. Then start gradually reducing the time limit you give yourself for the practice. As always, in the description below, there will be a script for this video, as well as an example where we take the same argument we used in the previous videos and prioritize the MECs we listed for it in the last video. Thanks for listening, and see you in the next video when we discuss characterization.